Good afternoon. My name is Christine Manassian, and I will be doing a presentation on PPMs for Dr. Shiroki's Finance 139 class. So PPM, also known as a PPO, is a document that's used to explain certain aspects and details of a given investment to possible investors. There's no specific form of a PPM, but it is supposed to provide just enough information to get the attention of potential investors. That is in an effort to get the potential investors to perform their due diligence and invest. They're used in such cases when the given security is not registered under any type of law. And then the PPO itself carries information such as who is going to be selling the securities, the risks involved in the investment, and then certain disclosures are included as well. And then to help inform potential investors, term sheets or summaries of details of the exact terms of the investment is then provided along with legal disclaimers explaining how the PPM functions. So it is really common to confuse PPOs or PPMs with business plans. So a business plan is basically just a roadmap that companies use to outline their main goals and provide broad information on how they plan to attain those goals. They are pretty broad and don't go into details. So on the other hand, private placement offers can be seen as disclosure agreements or documents. So unlike business plans, they are not persuasive, although they do provide really descriptive details in an effort to guide potential investors in making a decision. So PPMs are quite common. However, the Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as SEC, they do not regulate PPOs in the same manner as they do as other investment offerings like IPOs or initial public offerings. Because of this, each PPM can differ depending on the firm and what their main goal is. So to qualify for a private placement offer, companies need to provide their transaction to the different exemption categories. These categories include Section 4.2, which is the broad private offering exemption, Section 3.811, which is the intrastate common, or Regulation D. Regulation D is the most common out of all the categories, and it does have 3 different exemptions from the registration provisions. So Regulation D is broken into 3 separate categories. So there is Reg D Rule 504, which is $1 million all investors. There is Reg D Rule 505, which is $5 million accredited investors. And then there's Reg D Rule 606, no dollar limit. It's pretty similar to Rule 505, but there's no dollar limit. So when it comes to putting together a private placement memorandum, all the specific information regarding the investment itself is all put into what's called a term sheet. The term sheet is basically a non-binding agreement that holds information about the investment. There are different types of disclosures that must be included by the issuing company. And then the term sheet is the minimum to provide to potential investors before the investor agreement is used to state the very final terms. More specific term sheets are used when there are non-accredited investors involved. And then finally, we also have due diligence. So along with completing the term sheets, when dealing with private placement memorandums, one must also complete their due diligence. This is the process that is a reasonable person or business partner or even a business as a whole should do prior to going into any type of deal with another party or company. So this can be a legal matter. It's more likely going to be voluntary investigations. For example, when an acquirer would like to examine or investigate the company to be acquired and their assets. So due diligence just enhances the overall decision-making process for potential acquirers or investors, and it gives them an opportunity to gain additional quality information that could really be helpful in making a decision. While there are different forms of due diligence like financial due diligence, asset due diligence, administrative due diligence, they all provide potential investors more qualitative information to help them make a final decision. That is all for my presentation on PPOs, term sheets, and due diligence. Thank you.